All right, so that's like a big journey, like to go from like 4 years of studying down to like 8 days, the crunch time. Like, walk me through like the short version. Like, what was it like over that time period, man?
So when I went to boot camp 4 years ago, I mean, it was all good and great, but there was really you don't get to see how everything is working on the boot camps.
Mhm.
So I went back 2 years later and did a free boot. I mean, once you sign up, you get free support. So
Yeah.
I did it again, and I still couldn't. I mean, I got it, but to see it all work visually, I still couldn't get it to see it. And you got people that are very accelerated in those classes, and you don't want to speak up and say, "Hey, I don't know how this kind of works," and so just kind of leave it alone. And so just keep going with the flow, not to disrupt anything. So at the beginning of 2020, I paid the fee. I put my application in to take my PMP and got my 35 to 70 hours submitted and paid the everything to get it done, right? And so for the whole year, I kept on prolonging it another month, another month, another month, another month, all the way till I hit December 31st. And right before I was to take the exam, PMI says, "Hey, you want to take the exam later with the new
Mm-hmm.
exam, and we'll give you half price." And so I'm like, "Oh, yeah," because I the problem is the job that I had at the moment, it just wouldn't allow me to do this. But during this whole time, I mean, this was a weight on my shoulders. It was like the monkey on my back that was there that was telling me, "You have to do this, or else you're going to be stuck doing what you're doing now." And so, come mid March, I thought I was going to have time from January to March, and I didn't even have time because it was just outage after outage after outage, 20, round the clock on call, Zoom calls, everything. And it's just was not a happy time for me. So about a week before April, I told my boss, "Hey man, I'm taking 2.5 weeks off because I have to do this exam and I have to take it on this very last day of the 16th of April." And so they're like, "Well, we don't know if that's going to be possible." I'm like, "No, you're going to have to make it possible. I have to do this." And because either you pay me that $500 that I paid, or I'm taking this time off. And so
Mm-hmm.
they gave me the time off. So I went home and I put myself in an empty room, four white walls around me, to top it off, and not padded, but just white walls, and
Mm-hmm.
uh, big monitor, and studied for 2.5 weeks. And but really, leading up to that point, I think I wasted like maybe 4 days trying to study, and I got stuck on EVM and all that other good, all that mathematical part.
Mm-hmm.
And I started reading on Facebook, and people were asking, "Is EVM even on the test?" Because
Mm-hmm.
then I started reading more that there was more agile on there. I'm like, you know what? I have to find another way. And then I came across your video, and I started looking at questions, PMP questions made easy, and I started looking at it, and that's like, wow, really, I liked what you were selling, and that's when I reached out to you. And I think with 9 days left for me before I
Yeah.
took the exam, I reached out to you, and you invited me to your calls, and with 8 days left, man, I signed up for your prep class, and I personally could not believe that I would be ready, but you gave me the easy out to pull my application. But that's not what I wanted to do, because even you said, "Hey, man, you've already taken the time off to do this, so just do it. And if you fail, you fail. You can always come back and do it again." And I also had that 50% half price on my back pocket also.
Mhm.
So I'm like, you know what, you're right, man. Just let me do it, and where the cards fall, that's where they fall. And so, but you also called me out on it. You said, you don't believe you can do it. I believe you can do it. I prep people in 7 days, and they pass. So I took you up on that offer, and you know what, man, I am glad. You more or less kind of called me out, or you know, the way I like to say it, you punked me out, and it worked. I love it because it made me live up to what you were expecting and what I expected of myself as well. because I don't expect anything less. And, and sometimes I amaze myself because sometimes I don't put myself up to those standards, what other people expect of me, but I know I could do it. It's just under the pressure that I was under. And so my wife always tells me, dude, you always perform under pressure. So what's so hard about this one? And so, yeah, it was an amazing ride, and I enjoyed every bit and painful night that I spent studying for this exam. So yeah, that's the very short version of it. So
That's a good one. And so let's talk a little bit. You talked a little bit about like the boot camp stuff, like, and I know how you feel. Like the guy's rolling, he's talking, people are raising their hand, maybe they've done stuff before, and it's just like you don't want to be the guy to just like slow it down and stuff. Like so, and although you need the help, what was different? Like so, I remember that night, like we chatted like after the coaching call, and then you got right into it, and we set like a plan, and it was for 7 days, and like what was different learning wise for you when you started to get into like the learning of like the accelerator and the course? Like was there something different about how you were like learning stuff, or what was it like for you then, man?
well, what was different, what I learned from your course is that you automatically put me in the mindset of being in the PMP world.
Mhm.
Meaning, I've heard folks talk about, well, I don't believe that parachute guy falling in all these processes. No, man, that works. And so I followed every step of the way, putting yourself in a mindset, the resilience training, uh, everything that you taught on that very first day is what gets you prepared. And if you can't follow what you're offering step for step, I mean, I don't know what's going to set you up for success. Because for me, once you put 5 days of boot camp of waterfall into less than about 2 or 3 hours of videos, I was able to, stop and go back. I said, maybe I missed a key word, what he said here. And I would go back and go back again. And at the same time, you have your disappearing,
Evaporating data dump. Yeah. Yeah.
evaporating data dump, and you're going back and back. And okay, I think I understand a little bit more. And you see how all the, because I think a lot of folks get stuck in the planning process.
Mhm.
And if you don't understand that planning process, if you don't see it flow together, really everything else is all mush for you.
Mhm.
So once I understood how all that planning process worked along with the stakeholder involvement, everything was easy after that. And seeing how you put this together and how you made it flow so easily, man, I understood what waterfall was all about after that. And it really pushed me over the top to get my level of knowledge in um, waterfall very simple, because that part, all of it, it worked for me. I enjoyed it, and I would go back even today when I get into my new job. I'm going to come back and default back to your videos again because they're very helpful, and I enjoyed every step of the learning process. So yeah,
That's
man, it's but everything that you offer on there, I mean, I'm gonna let you run it because I don't want to keep talking.
That's okay. You're great, man. Like I really appreciate it. And so like, I mean, the part that like resonates with me, I mean, I know I made it, but like the part that's like heartening for me, first of all, that you passed in 8 days. And like, there's a mental side of this too. Cause like, what was like, I do remember the conversation being like, hey man, I think we can do this. I feel pretty strongly, but like, we've both got to believe and we've both got to go for this and stick to it. And so like, as you were studying over and over, like beforehand, was it starting to like seep into your head? I know you're a confident guy, but like, was it starting to be like, man, am I ever going to get there? Is it going to like, was it starting to have some kind of effect on you at all? Like, not to impugn you as a man, but like, was it like, was it
Oh,
weighing on you or what?
yes. So because when we talked, I had 7 days, and on the eighth, 7 or 8 days to do this. And so when we talked, the first, and I know we talked about, because I'm a Spurs fan, so
Yeah.
you talked about how Ginobili, he always came through in the crunch. So,
Yeah.
and I took that analogy and I used it for myself because, when the Spurs played the Pistons in the championship, man, the first 2 games we were up, we were beating Detroit so badly, we're talking about sweep.
Yeah.
Then you come back the next 2 days, Detroit kicks our butt. It's like 2-2 now.
Yeah.
So on the first 2 days, I was riding a high because I was like, man, this is great. I'm learning this, everything. And so I'm thinking, I was like, you know what? Let me go feel myself out and take some of Scott's exams. And,
Yeah.
I thought I was going to roll into those and, roll right in with it. And no, man, I failed every exam that was there.
Yeah.
I mean, it was horrendous. And so I would get so frustrated and I take it again, take another test, and my results were horrible. And so for the next 2 days, I would do day 3, 4 planning, and then go back and try another exam. And my exam scores were just horrendous. And I was so down, I was so depressed, and my wife's like, look, man, like Scott says, it's going to be a ride, and that's what I did. And so on the 5th day, I finally got my mind right. I said, you know what? If I fail, I fail.
Yeah.
If I pass because I'm really pushing myself through this.
Yeah, really.
And so once I just stopped trying to take the exams and say, I'll come back to this, but I need to focus on learning what's in front of me.
Yep.
I can worry about the exams. I'll do the coaches' calls and then come back and try to redo some stuff again. Once I was able to do that, day 5, I win. Day 6, I lost again. And then day 7 was exam day.
Yeah.
So I came back and, even day 7, exam day, started off horrendous for me.
Yeah.
Because I think I spent 2 hours on the first 60 questions because I was second guessing myself so much. And I know I went over the 30 question rule that we talk about.
Yeah.
And so so out of the 60 questions, I marked like 40 questions.
Yeah.
And so I lost so much time there. And so, like, you know what? After the first break, I came back and I said, you know what? I said, let me regroup here.
Yeah.
So I need to stop outlining everything, crossing out everything because I was taking precious time away from me. I said, I just need to keep memory of what I'm doing here. So the next 60 questions, I finished in 1 hour and only marked 1 question for review.
Yeah.
And stopped second guessing myself. Like, I know what this is. Kept going.
Yeah.
So the final 60 questions, I only have 54 minutes left. And I didn't mark any for review.
Yeah.
5 minutes left. I had 10 questions left. And at that point, I said, I have to use what I've learned in this whole program. I mean, I've used it throughout the whole exam, but I even put my most educated guess with what I've been taught in this program. And the only thing that went wrong was I didn't answer the very last question because time ran out on me.
That's all right.
So I sat there for about 30, 40 seconds. Like, I completely failed and came up. Congratulations. Enjoy your new PMP. Enjoy your new success. And like, oh my God.
That's crazy. That's good.
So it was like, it was like the 4th quarter of Game 7 of the Spurs in Detroit, where Ginobili's just hitting threes after threes after threes to get the Spurs back into the game. And that's the analogy that really applied for me throughout this whole punishment that I put punishment that I put myself through. But it was worth it. It was sweet success at the end. And so for me, it feels like I did win the championship.
That's awesome. And then, I mean, you just stuck to the process. And sometimes when we get off of it, I mean, it's natural, but like the support's there. Talk me through kind of like you were on a lot of coaching calls with me, even in the short window, to kind of talk through it. Was it helpful to kind of hear people talk through the questions, hear yourself talk through it, get kind of like a little bit of direction and coaching? Was that helpful to understanding how to solve these problems and stuff?
Yes, man. The whole coaching calls, they help a lot because, and I'm going back, let me go back to the boot camps. You don't want to be that guy that stops the class because you don't understand this process at all. But if you get on the coaching calls, man, everybody that's on that call, some people are seasoned at it because they've been on these coaching calls, but everybody's there to help because we've all been in that same situation and we're all helping each other. And that's the best part of this whole thing, because you taught us how to look at these questions, not to take it as a monster that's coming at you, but to, okay, let me see where I can kick this guy in the knee where his weakest part is at and to bring him down. And that's how you take down that question because, you do the last question, you jump in with the parachute and find out where you're at in the process, find out is this water flow or agile. And then from there, what are we doing next or what should have been done or what, what's in the future or whatever,
Yeah.
but, it was that process that, you know, it was great to follow, and I used that for every question that I read, and I think, I believe, I know that that helped me throughout the whole exam, throughout my whole process, and just going back and putting myself through day 3 and 4 of that brutal punishment where I thought I was doing great, and your questions just demoralized me.
Sorry.
But it was good because it prepped me to go back to my vanishing data dump
Hmm.
and look at it again and say, okay, I don't understand that. Let me go back and I thought I knew this. Let me put it back on my list again, and I'm gonna go back over that again.
Hmm.
And it reinforces the fact that you get away from all the acronyms and you're gonna learn this process. And that's what it made me do because in um, the boot camps, they want you to learn all these acronyms, and really, you don't learn nothing but acronyms. And I'm glad I didn't learn acronyms to take this exam because there was nothing on there that was going to help me with an acronym. It was all based on what you know up here and what
Hmm.
you studied for, and that's what you made me do. And you put it in such a great plan, man, and it worked for me. So
I appreciate it. That's awesome, dude. And then, well, the good thing is that you just let me know before this that because you passed and you have awesome experience and everything else, something's good has happened in your professional life. So you want to say kind of walk us through that, like by getting the PMP, you were able to jump into a new spot, or what's going on there?
yeah, so I was able. I interviewed for a job prior to taking my PMP,
Mhm.
and one of the requirements was that you needed that they preferred a PMP, but they really wanted to have somebody with a PMP, and so I've been in field services for my whole IT career, and I've been trying to get out of this for years. I don't want to do. There's nothing wrong with it, but when
Right.
you've been doing it for so long, you have to do something else. And so I had to do this, and so I guess for me, it was a comfort zone for me also. But I interviewed for this job, and so I took the PMP the following week.
Mhm.
One of the things that probably put me on the list that I need some waterfall,
Mhm.
but I didn't know agile.
Right.
And I went back to the HR manager after I took my exam and passed it. I shot her an email and said, "Look, here goes. I passed my PMP with a new exam that has agile. Can you forward this to the interviewing managers? Maybe if you haven't made a decision, you know, add this to it." And so probably to be somewhere in the middle of last week, they called me. Hey, are you still interested in this job? I'm like, which role? I know y'all had two roles for me, the help desk manager or the other role. No, the director of enterprise services.
No.
I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm still interested. And so it was negotiated my salary, and I've never negotiated my salary, so I negotiated and got what I wanted. And you know what? It's I know it's going to be a different experience, but it's also outside of my comfort zone. And And I was looking at your videos with Lee, that person that you interview all the time,
Yeah.
and he talks about that. If you want to make peanuts and bolts your whole life, stay in your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And if you want to be a success as a project manager or something else in leadership, get outside your comfort zone. Apply for jobs that are outside of that are you are not eligible for, but apply for them anyway and try to sell yourself, try to know the hiring manager, everything else. So, you know, and it works, man. And so I've it's hard to believe that this success has come. And I haven't started a new job, but I'm a little nervous. But you know, little you're supposed to be nervous. So
Yes, sir.
and so I'm ready to take on this new challenge in my life, and I'm looking forward to the next chapter of my career.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
That's awesome, dude. I'm super proud of you. I'm super happy for you. I'm excited. I'm a little nervous, not in like, I know you're going to do a great job, but it's just fun to see like what happens and how good you do and all those things. So, I mean, it couldn't be any better for you and the family. So that's good.
Yeah.
So there are probably people out there that are like you, like, driving in their career, like have been working for a while, just haven't been able to get to the PMP, and it's just been, for whatever reason, like all these boot camps have let them down and overwhelmed them with stuff. Like for those kind of people that are out there that kind of see themselves in you, what's your advice for those people to be able to kind of make a change today and move and be able to get to the place where you are, where you passed, you're happy, you're moving on, you get a new job, all that stuff?
Yep. So my advice is to invest in yourself. Don't wait for the company that you work for now and wait for them to provide you the funds or cut you the cost center so you can charge to the company. Just invest in yourself. That's what I did. And that way you're not tied down to any owing a company that you got to stay on it for another year if you do this or whatever. I invested in myself. Everything that we've talked about, the money that I paid your course, the money that I took this exam with, the boot camps, all of it has come out of my own pocket, and it's painful. But you know what? It was a goal of mine, and if you're serious about this is what you need to do. The vacation that you have planned to Cancun, the vacation that you have planned for the summer, with the kids or whatever, you might want to put that on the back burner and take the time off like I did, and lock yourself away. And I know it's hard, but what I had to do, I mentally had to go back into my old college days when I would put the kids to sleep at about 8 o'clock, not 8:30, and go buy me like 5 cups of cappuccino and study till about 4 in the morning. And and that's what I had to do. And and I know we all have busy lives as adults because we don't get that back no more like we used to in college days. But yeah, it's I had to take that plunge, and it was painful to get started. But once you get in the rhythm, you got to go for it, and there's no looking back on that part. And I my wife had never my this is my second marriage. My wife had never seen that out of me. And she goes, "Oh yeah, honey, I used to do this, so I can do it again." So, but the first few days were painful, and I am just glad I ran into your videos and came across your stuff, and man, that really helped propel my success, man. Because once I got the certification, I started counting the days of my new job. I didn't know what was coming. I really didn't know. I just knew that okay, it's time to go, and I can't do this no more. Again, there's nothing wrong with field services. It's just I just couldn't do it no more. It's not for me.
I understand. That's awesome, dude. This is a heck of a story for everybody else to go, like I can do this. And that's the ultimate thing. Like they can do it, and you did it. So if there's anything else I can do as you get into the new job, please let me know, and we'll help you out every way we can. And this won't be the last time we chat. And yet again, I really appreciate what you did. I'm really proud of you. And I just want to say thanks.
Well, thank you for pushing me. And for, I think what I tell my wife is that, Scott really, questioned made me question myself. Can you do it? You know, it's like he's challenging me. So I'm always up for the challenge. So thank you for the challenge. And it was an awesome challenge. And I appreciate that. So
Yes, sir. All right. Well, have a good night. Thank you again. And I'll talk to you soon. See ya.
all right. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye.